You know how it is. When a game is about to fail, the media run defense. For Sweet Baby Inc., damage control is here.
Tales of the Shire initially had quite a lot of hype behind it, but as time has gone on, it doesn't seem like they've really put a lot more work or effort into it. They delayed it multiple times to polish it and patch it up, but it still seems to look exactly the same way it did when they first unveiled it. And unfortunately, then you have the lead producers attacking gamers and them silencing us over on their social media. But now we see the Access Media defending this DEI Rings of Power title. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, obviously, if you are very excited for this game, that's great. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you get your money's worth out of it.
Like I said before, if you like this, then all the power to you. None of us, either myself, j.r.r, or Hypnotic, would say, oh, don't buy this game, okay? We never said that. We just point out the pros and cons, okay? Ultimately, it is your decision to make, okay? But when it comes to honoring Tolkien's legacy, I don't think Tales of the Shire is fitting for that. We'll get to that soon.
It's great. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you get your money's worth out of it. My hype level has personally tanked, and I know a lot of other people feel the same exact way, when we saw that this was really more of a Rings of Power game and not a Lord of the Rings game. What I mean by that is they do not care about respecting the source material and respecting Tolkien's creation. They don't really care about providing a full-blown experience to fans of this franchise. They just wanted to take it and then bank off of it, but I don't think that's going to work. I mean, every single time they highlight anything with this title, the developers are getting wrecked for it just because it seems like a PS2 game. It really just seems like they wanted it to be a cozy game because they didn't really know how to make a full-blown experience. And we found out just a couple of days ago that the system requirements seem to be kind of steep for a cozy game. I'm not saying that they are the most intense requirements ever, not by any stretch of the means, but when you are making a game for audiences of normie gamers or very casual gamers who typically play cozy games like Palia or Dreamlight Valley, or even titles like Terraria, you're not going to expect those people to have state-of-the-art computers, and it just seems that they really didn't care about optimizing this, that they put their dollars into hiring DEI companies like Sweet Baby Inc. instead of optimizing their game properly.
If that ever happens, I'm gonna have to assume that it's going to be broken on launch, or people are gonna complain there's a lot of technical issues, bugs, and glitches, and their only defense is, oh, you're racist, saying that, or in this case, don't ask questions, just consume product and get excited for next product. Let's see how that lasts. Look, I think if you really want to honor Tolkien's legacy and play a game that is, what, a PS2 era? My only suggestion is, of course, Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King game. Yes, that PS2 era. Look, that game may be a movie tie-in, which most people say it is cash grab, but ultimately, that game still honors Tolkien's legacy. Because movie tie-in games, for the most part, I would consider it as a extended edition. Every time you play this, or perhaps every time you watch a movie, let's say Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, you ask yourself, how on earth do they get past from the entrance? In this case, how did Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli get from the entrance all the way right towards the King of the Dead?
Had seen previously the Game Rant article on this. I covered it in another video, will be linked down below, but it talks about how Tales of the Shire has undergone multiple delays since its announcement back in early 2024, but the title now has a confirmed release date of July 29th, a couple of weeks from now. A new trailer was just released a month ago showcasing the day-to-day life of a hobbit, but early impressions indicate that the game had no combat to speak of and focuses exclusively on delivering a casual, relaxed gameplay loop, which involves house decoration, gardening, farming, fishing, foraging, and trading. PC system requirements for it were revealed, and many were taken aback by how steep they really are. The minimum specs demand an Intel Core i5-7600K and NVIDIA GeForce GTX 770 equivalent, whereas the recommended specs require an i5-10600 and an RTX 3060 Ti equivalents. And I know that a 60 Ti, right, came out back in 2021, so it's 4 years old at this point. But again, you're marketing this towards an audience of people who might have more potato PCs and they really only play cozier games. And by having, slightly higher recommended specs, you're just potentially dividing the audience that was interested in it because they might say they don't have a build that could run this. I'm not saying it's super intensive by any means, but for a game that looks like a PS2 game, you'd expect it to be able to run on a potato. And that's actually what some of the Access media is trying to say. And they're damage controlling.
Before we let Veridot continue, it's expected. They always do this. And you now know why many people doesn't go to these sites anymore. Here, let me give you for example. When I was trying to look for articles about Prince Zuko, the Netflix version, about how he is going to be speeding up his redemption arc, I look at The Verge, and you want to know what I get? An ad telling me to subscribe. Make that make sense, folks. I don't know if Game Rant has any ads based on what I'm seeing on Veridot, but I'm gonna have to check it out. Look, if you really want to play a PS2 games or anything that honors Tolkien's legacy, I recommend Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King game, or Two Towers.
PC Gamer says the Tales of the Shire system requirements are so light you'll be able to play it on an actual potato, whether boiled, mashed, stewed, or cooked in any other manner. Tales of the Shire has been a little divisive so far, and I'm happy to say that the pool of gamers who will be able to form their own opinion after playing the game looks to be quite large. This is definitely not the case. It's not a little divisive, it is extremely divisive. There are people who are furious over their decision to sideline Tolkien source material, and with the graphics, and now with the PC requirements, with lead producers blocking gamers.
Yeah, that is a bad sign. I'm gonna have to make a 100% guess whether Workshop didn't know about the failure of Rings of Power. You don't know. Rings of Power second season failed. They got a third season despite disastrous ratings. I'm 100% certain Weta Workshop doesn't know that. I think it should be apparent. What happened with Rings of Power could convince everybody that Tolkien's legacy is being infected by woke, or in this case, DEI elements. Don't forget, there's no such thing as black elves or even, I don't know, orcs that look like immigration. Anyone who knows about anyone who has seen or read about Tolkien's book or anything, you guys know those kind of things don't exist. If they do, they live farther away or become the bad guys. That is the one thing that many of these leftists or woke leftists hate.
Even saying that we're conspiracy theorists for saying that there are...
Wait, hang on a second. Did I miss that?
And silencing people on their social media, and even saying that we're conspiracy theorists for saying that there are companies that push DEI narratives into games. And you also have to consider, which I think is one of the most important pieces of the backlash puzzle, is the fact that this is a sweet baby in game. None of those things look good, and that has led to thousands of gamers saying they are not going to purchase this and monetarily support the developers. That's not a little divisive, but of course they're going to lie because they wanted damage control. That's because the minimum and recommended specs have been released, and it looks like you'll be able to run this game on the starchiest of foods cooked exactly to your liking. Whether you boil it, mash it, or stew it, your GTX 770 or Radeon R9 270X should be able to run this Hobbit sim. I'm sorry for any offense, ancient rig gamers. The potato fruit is just too low hanging not to take a swing. Below are the list of full specs. And I don't think anybody's particularly shocked to see the PC gamers and rock, paper, shotguns and IGN's damage controlling for this, because it pushes the narratives that they personally agree with. It does take a older franchise, right, and it modernizes it. It's taking Tolkien's amazing creation and twisting it around so that it fits into a modern day context and bubble, which I think is absurd for so many reasons. But these are also the same people who said, oh, sweet babying doesn't do what you think they do, when they do exactly what you believe they do, which is take things and push DEI narratives into them. And that's, I believe, why they're defending it so much right now, because they personally believe that this is the way that older franchises should be handled. They should be revived for new audiences, and they should be modernized and updated, which is just disgusting.
Which is why I'm also making a gaming let's play with a playlist called Escapism and Refuge. In that playlist, there will be a variety of games ranging from DC Comics, Marvel Comics, and even better, Tolkien's Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King game. I'm playing that even though there's some issues with countries because some parts of it have to be blocked because, well, I think maybe it's the cinematics or anything, the music. It was blocked on 2 countries, Belarus and Russia. So it might take me time for me to record and keep the cinematics. I want to keep the cinematics, but then again, you have to either trim it or cut it all. Because some of those cinematics were always copyrighted by Warner Bros. Shocking, isn't it? Warner Bros. Copyrighted. And I have to assume people who made these games, or perhaps have heard about Tolkien's work, have read it, but hated it. I'm not certain about Warner Bros. Though. That's just a theory into itself, okay? Not bothering it.
You've also got Rock Paper Shotgun saying, Tales of the Shire system requirements have me considering grafting a graphics card to a hobbit's bum. I cringe a lot when I read these articles. This is one of the worst articles I have seen in such a long time. It's truly got to be the worst, like, overly sexualized rage bait I've read in a hell of a long time, because they start off with saying,
Wait, hang on a sec. I need to check that person. Who is that? Mark? Of course. Based on the hair, Mark Warren. Exactly that. This person's a leftist. I had to make a guess. He doesn't like Tolkien's legacy. You know what? I'm gonna bet 100% this game is either gonna get 8 or 9 or 10. If IGN give Tales of the Shire a 10, ooh, that is gonna be... Well, I don't think it's gonna work, because how exactly are you gonna give a game a 10 where there's plagued with either bugs, glitches, or performance issues? Make that make sense.
I've read in a hell of a long time, because they start off with saying that they're going to graft a graphics card to a hobbit's bum, but then you get to this last paragraph and they say, nice, but can it run on a hobbit? Hear me out. You install the game in his head through hypnotic suggestion. His mouth makes all the noises, and the visuals are projected onto his eyes through forbidden rendering magic, turning them into dual monitors. There's a graphics card from just over a decade ago grafted onto his butt, and a display port cable runs from it up into his ear. I don't even want to finish this. He averages a solid 20 FPS because he occasionally has to blink, and you use his nipples like the analog sticks of a controller and bop his nose every time you need to press enter. These are the people who call us gooners for praising swimsuits and Marvel's rivals. I'm sorry, I can't fucking take you seriously.
I'm not taking those journalists seriously. Man, oh my god. I think my cringe level just got way past my head. No. I think my cringe level just went through the roof. First off, again, if you like this game, all the power to you. If any of you want to honor Tolkien's legacy, Tales of the Shire or Rings of Power isn't the one you're looking for. If you really want to see a real PS2, you should try and get yourself an emulator, download Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King game. Now, granted, there is some issues with vertical lines. It's not vertical lines, it's more like the characters carrying lines on it, but at least it can honor Tolkien's legacy. I mean, I played it, even though I had to cut a lot of cinematics because you know how it is, copyright reason. Because always remember, movie tie-in games always has a copyrighted issues compared to cartoon tie-in game, which rarely gets any copyright claim, except of course Kingdom Hearts, okay? Which is why I'm going to continue on posting another Let's Play on Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King game. And perhaps you guys will enjoy it. Or perhaps you can enjoy the previous video that will be linked, or perhaps that will be beside me right here, or to my left, or to my right, whichever it is. And I will put that gaming Let's Play for you to enjoy it. And I trust you that the Lord of the Ring gaming Let's Play that I made, it is one of the games that honors Tolkien's legacy.
Aragorn will be forced to rise above fear. For as king, he will need to stand against Sauron's malice and unite all who fear Mordor. Aragorn and his companions must first break the will of the king of the dead, for Isildur cursed him, and now his heir must master his malice. Without this victory, our cause shall be forever lost.
Leave a like and subscribe if you want woke or anti-woke detected, or you just want to see me play games, or perhaps you like trending topics. Visit my second, third, and fourth channel up here or link in the description.